Hi ladies. So I want to show you a technique today. It is phrased as a zebra hack. So it's very similar to cheetah, except there's a certain brush that we're going to use to apply it. So I want to show you how you can use the Multitasker brush to apply your makeup, and then we'll come in with the Blush and Bronzer brush after to blend, okay? Now the reason why this is going to be a little different than the cheetah is, number one, we're not going to use our fingers, okay? But oftentimes when we are doing the cheetah hack, if you're not using your fingers, I often recommend using the smudge brush. It creates those nice little dots on your face and it doesn't pick up too much makeup. Whereas sometimes if you are using your fingertips, the oils in your skin, the warmth of your skin, it might pick up more makeup than what you want on your face. The one that we're going to use today is the Multitasker brush. This is going to give a little bit more coverage than something like the smudge. It's going to go on nice and clean, and it's going to be easy to find out where you want to put your makeup, and then we'll come in and blend afterwards. Now, when I use this brush today, I'm mainly going to be using this flat end. And the awesome part with this is it's going to help your makeup go on a lot smoother because of the density of the brush, the shape of the brush, how it's nice and flat on the side. So it's really going to pick up that product and put it right on your face versus absorbing it in. Now, let's go ahead. Same placement of products, except we're using a different brush. I'll also show you how you can come in with some color corrector, and then we'll come in with main brightening and contour, maybe even a little bit of bronzer, you name it. So I'm gonna start with my Multitasker brush, this flat end here. I'm gonna work first in my color corrector. Now, it's different for everyone, okay? When I color correct, I am often color correcting the blues underneath my eyes, some scarring, things like that. It works with my main highlight. Our collection number 8 and 12 also have a darker color in there that is good for camouflaging, okay? So that's essentially what I'm doing here. I'm gonna come in with the Multitasker brush and just dip it in, but you can see how much product that it gets, okay? It's gonna pick it up a lot more and a lot more precise. So I'm gonna come and place my color corrector or my camel color here first. Notice I'm not blending it. However, I am getting pretty specific with my under eye because I don't want to put too much camo in the wrong spots. Now I'll come in. I've got some freckling here. I often get it down my nose. So now I'm just kind of camouflaging areas that need a little extra help. Then we're gonna come into our other colors. I have over in these areas, I have some acne scarring, more freckling. So we're just gonna cover those spots up. Okay, now I don't need to clean off my brush, but we're gonna come into that zebra hack that we like to call it. I'm using the same. I'm gonna start with my brightening highlight color, okay? I'll put a little in that inner corner. And now I'm gonna come in and just create this line coming from that outer corner of my eye into my temple area. For me, I want to give a little bit of lift and I wanna brighten in this area. Now any excess, I can put a little up in this spot. I'm not gonna take some down my nose because I have a lot of freckling. I don't wanna bring more attention to freckling. But if you don't have that issue, you can take that color straight down your nose, into your Cupid's bow area, even into your chin. We're just brightening down the center of our face. All right, next up is I like to come into my contour next so then I can fill in the gaps at the end. So again, I'm just coming in with my Multitasker brush, picking up that color. Let's come place the contour. So remember where our ear meets our skin on our face, and we're just going to draw that nice line. You can come in if you do want some more, okay? But remember, we like to stop at the outside of the eye. Grab some more product here for this side, and stop about the outside of my eye. Again, if you need to pick up more product, feel free. You can always add it at the end too. Remember, it's always easier to bring more at the end than taking it away. Now, let's come. See, notice how it's a kind of zebra, because you're kind of making these stripes across your face with all of our product. I'm taking my contour color and I'm keeping it nice and tight up by my hairline, stopping at about the outside of my eyes. Now, the great thing about this brush is you can get super precise. So if you want to add in a little bit of contour down the sides of your nose to give the illusion of a thinner, more elongated nose, it's just gonna add that shadowing down the sides. But notice how I can easily kind of come in and hook up to my eyebrows here. And then I'll even take a little bit of that contour under nose. I kind of have a little pudgy nose here. So by adding in a little extra contour underneath, it's gonna create more shadowing. So it's just gonna give the illusion of a little bit slender of a nose. I'm also going to come in and apply some shadowing around my lips, up by my cupid's bow. And then any excess, I'm gonna take it and run it down my jawline. So remember, we wanna hug it up nice and close to the jaw. If you have, these little suckers right here, or you're just trying to give the illusion of more of a jawline, just remember, place it underneath your jaw. Try not to come on top, otherwise that's gonna create that 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, if you have these kind of jowl spots, you can kind of come up like this a little bit to create that shadowing right above it, but I just don't want you pulling it too far up here, okay? All right, so we have all of our contour on. Now the last thing that we'll do is we'll come into my main color, dipping in the multitasker, and I'm just gonna make these lines. Now, granted, you can't really see this color, but that is good. That is my main color, where it's gonna blend in with my skin tone. Okay, filling in the gaps. Again, it's like a zebra. We're just making all of these line marks all over our face versus the cheetah, where a lot of times we're either using our finger and dotting it, or maybe coming in with the smudge brush and dotting it. So I'm gonna make sure I take a little bit down my neck here. And then I'm gonna come in with a little down my nose. So I'm still getting that brightness. You might have your brightening highlight color. I'm gonna use my main and a little bit of my camouflage color, just because that's how my skin rolls, okay? Everyone will be a little different. Now, right away, if you wanted, you could come into your bronzer. I'm gonna come into Bella here, and you can place a little bit of Bella right on your face. Or if you wanted, you didn't have to do this now, you could come in with your brush at the end. I just wanna show you ladies different options. And then again, let's say we wanna come in with, I don't know, Desert Sunset, since it's here. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of lip and cheek color. That way, when I blend, it's just gonna all be done for me. And I'll even put on my Desert Sunset now, maybe pair it with a little bit of Bella, which I love using this brush for anyways. So it kind of just finishes things up for me, okay? So that's using the Multitasker brush to apply it on. Now, you could use your 3D brush, you could use your detail brush, you could use your buff brush, powder, whatever brush that you want to blend. I'm going to stick with my blush and bronzer because it gives me that kind of medium to light coverage on the smaller end. So now I can just start applying, or I'm sorry, start blending. Here's what I want you to remember when you're blending. Try to find those lighter shades first. So start blending in those lighter shades on your skin first and save the darker areas for last, okay? So I'm blending down my neck. Make sure that you get any of that contour that we place, because how often does that happen where you put it around your jaw and you forget to blend and then you walk out of the house? Okay, I'm just blending that down. Checked my other mirror, we're good. Now let's start up here. And I'm just gonna start stippling around my eye, and then I'm gonna come in. And notice how I kind of just pinch my brush a little bit so I can get in those crevices. Again, if you prefer, you could always come in with your detail brush to blend, or even your 3D brush where it's got a little bit pointier of a side. And I take it across my eyelid too, so I am prepped for any eyeshadow that I might be doing that day. All right, now I'm gonna start blending in this main color. And I'm even gonna start blending that right into my bronzer. So I'm gonna start warming up my forehead, okay? And now let's start pulling that contour back into my hairline. And again, if you feel like the first couple times, maybe you put on too much, too little, you can still always come back into your compact, dip a little bit more into whatever color that you want, okay? And now I'm gonna come and I kind of save these darker areas for last. So I like to come in and kind of pinch my brush, and I'm starting more so at that contour first, and then I'm starting to blend on up into that bronzer and my lip and cheek shade. And now I'm just going to start pulling that contour up. So just remember, wherever you place that contour, don't start below that point. Always start at that point or above, and then you can always flip on over to get that beautiful natural finish and just blend it all together. Okay, so I'm kind of pinching and stamping my contour first, and then I'm gonna start moving into my lip and cheek color and my bronzer, and I'm gonna just start flicking it up, and then I'm going to flip it on over and just kind of buff it out. Take any excess that I want and make sure we are blended. Now let's get the sides of my nose here. So I like to make sure that I'm kind of pulling it down because that's the illusion that I want to make. Longer, thinner. So I'm pulling that down the sides. We'll make sure that I'm nice and blended here. Now if you wanted, you could come in, let's say you wanted a little bit extra Bella up here, it blended in too much, you name it, you can always touch things up at this point. Okay, now I'm gonna come in, of course, with my line brush, brush through these brows. But there you have it, okay? So that's utilizing my multitasker brush. We're gonna call it the Zebra HAC. We're gonna keep it nice and simple for us, but we're applying it more in those like stripes on our face, getting a little bit more coverage than if you were using the smudge brush. Because of the density of this brush, it's gonna pull in a little bit more, so it's gonna help give a little bit more coverage, but without being too thick and cakey. Like we can see, it's still moving. We're still getting that beautiful one layer of makeup, but we're utilizing our multitasker brush. And then here I use my blush and bronzer to blend. So there you have it. Multitasker brush is also great for applying eyeshadow looks. You saw how I love to use it on my lips. It's a beautiful one. It helps get into those crevices. The opposite side here, it's great for creating eyeliners, whether you're using it with setting spray in an eyeshadow, or you're coming in and using a contour, or maybe Bella bronzer, or Black Friday eyeliner, okay? So this end is really great for that. Or getting super precise. If you have blemishes, you can come in with the small end here and cover up those blemishes, pinpointing them afterwards. So it's a great overall brush to use, not only for your 3D application, but then multiple uses afterwards, okay? Multitasker, and then I use the blush and bronzer to blend after. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed and learned a few things.